Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, and right now we're doing Unwelcome Strangers Found Living in Other People's Home by Be Amazed. So yeah, let's not wait any further. Let's just dive on in.
That you're being watched? Like someone might be stealing your cookies at night? Do you hear strange noises coming from inside the drywall? Not to alarm you or anything,
No.
but there might be someone you don't know living in your house. Have no fear, you're not alone, quite literally. Many homeowners from around the world have found themselves playing host to unwanted tenants. Their experiences make for some spooky watching. So why don't you join me as I take a look at the creepiest examples of strangers found living in other people's homes.
That would be crazy
Can
as
I
hell.
give you a hug? In early February 2019, a student at the University of North
UNCG?
Carolina, Greensboro, came home from work to the sound of a strange rattling in her closet. The student, Maddie, and her housemate had a running joke that there was a ghost in the house, as several clothing items had gone missing since they'd been living there. Maddie approached the door and the rattling continued. So she called out, "Who's there?" hoping it was just a raccoon. A man's voice issued from behind the door, saying, "My name's Drew." Maddie didn't immediately open the door, but the home invader agreed not to hurt her, so she allowed him out. Inside the closet was a 30-year-old man, later identified as Andrew Swafford, wearing several items of Maddie's clothing and clutching a book bag full of even more of her clothes. The student says that she talked to the man to distract him and waited calmly for help. She called her boyfriend and tried to call 911 on her Apple Watch, but it didn't work. Apple products, huh? During this time, Swafford tried on her hat and looked in the mirror, saying, "You're really pretty. Can I give you a hug?" But apparently he never touched her. When the student's boyfriend arrived, Swafford fled the scene and was arrested a block away from her apartment building. There's no telling how long Swafford had been in the house, but judging by the fact that clothes have been going missing for several days, it could have been quite a while.
Wait,
Maddie
it's in your closet? How didn't you know somebody was living there? How do you get dressed in the morning and etc.?
was lucky that her intruder was
Okay.
non-violent and
just-
seemed to only be interested in stealing her socks. Jeremy from downstairs. If you've ever lived in shared accommodation, you'll know that there's always that one ghost roommate you just don't see very much. Sometimes you'll ask yourself, do they even exist? Well, in the case
My
of
brother.
these two students from Ohio State University, they thought the answer was no. What they thought was just a locked utility closet in the downstairs kitchen actually turned out to be a tiny apartment, complete with a bed and sink. The occupant was called Jeremy, and he'd actually been spotted on the property before, but the two housemates thought he just might live in the next door lease. The realtors swiftly evicted poor Jeremy and changed the locks on the house, but the tenants were not happy with the company North Step Realty. Student housing can be kind of a cowboy industry, so it wouldn't surprise me if someone was wrangling a bit of extra side cash from this secret room. Stanley's List. Christmas is a time for giving and sharing, but this family ended
It's
up
crazy,
sharing
bro.
more than expected.
I feel weird
They
if I know
found an
somebody's living in
unwanted
my house.
festive guest living in their attic. 21-year-old Stanley Carter inhabited the Ferentz family attic for several days before being caught, after Stacy Ferentz reported to the police that she had noticed several items missing from her home and what looked like footprints in her bedroom closet. The police brought a dog in to search the home in Plains Township and found Carter's secret room through the attic door. When the squatter came down, he was wearing Mrs. Ferentz's shirt and sneakers, along with her daughter's pants. For several days, he had been helping himself to food and stealing clothes. Police reports
You know,
state that
niggas
Carter
don't
had
have
been
much,
staying with
you know.
friends who were the Ferentz's neighbors in a
He saw an
duplex.
opportunity
When they
than
told
being
Carter to
homeless.
leave, he apparently accessed the shared attic through a trap door in the bedroom ceiling. He stayed there over the Christmas period and kept a list of every item that he took from the house, labeling it Stanley's Christmas List. Carter has since apologized for the intrusion, but I doubt the Ferentz family will ever forgive him for giving them the creepiest Christmas ever.
Facts.
Heat siphon. 73-year-old Washington State resident Belma Kellen got some unexpected news after she called a repairman to fix what she believed to be a broken furnace in her home. The repairman said that he was able to fix the faulty heating system under her house, but while he was down there, noticed that someone had been living in the crawl space. The chilly squatter had cut holes in the duct in order to get some of the heat. Apparently, the unwelcome guest had been entering through the backyard, as the back gate was often found mysteriously open. Velma said there was a suspicious smell that wafted through the home, which she wasn't sure about, but it could have been marijuana. Police were unable to find the culprits in this heat-stealing crime, but it really makes you wonder who could be stealing from right under your nose. Even Velma's 3 dogs didn't notice the squatter.
Damn.
The creep show.
What?
Jerome Kennedy
You think I got caught on camera?
had been hearing strange noises from inside the ceiling of his family home.
I'm going to
he
start
decided
checking
to
my
set some
house.
cameras in the attic to check if anything suspicious was happening. When he went back to check the cameras for footage, his suspicions were confirmed. Someone had been crawling around in the attic. The footage shows a man called Robert Havria, who was Kennedy's neighbor, crawling through the narrow attic onto the Kennedy side of the house. Havria is carrying a drill and a light in the video, and appears to lie on a vent that overlooks Kennedy's bed and his daughter's crib for around 30 minutes. Kennedy noted that this behavior was extremely creepy, and that he felt his privacy had been violated.
On the fullest.
So, Havria was charged with burglary, criminal trespassing, and stalking. At
Yeah.
least now the Kennedys and their daughter can sleep in peace. And
Yo, no, hold on. Not on my baby, bro. Like, no. You put my family in danger, especially my kid, I'll whoop your ass. Like, yo, it's over for you. Like, I catch you in my property, you're probably going to get shot. I catch you on my land, in my house, you're probably going to get shot. What the hell? Oh, sorry. But still, what the hell?
Creep show. Jimmy. Of all the things you might find in your attic, bats, squirrels, roaches, the last thing you'd expect to find is a dark-haired woman in a state of confusion.
Damn,
That's
the ring?
exactly what Davis Wallman of Green Lake, Washington found.
Washington again?
Rustling around in the upper levels of his
Remind
home.
me not to
After
buy a house in
returning home
Washington,
one
bro.
Monday night, Davis pulled on the door to his private office, but oddly found it locked. So he started knocking. After a few knocks, he heard a voice call out to him. "Jimmy? Is that you, Jimmy?" Davis had heard scrabbling around in the attic beforehand, so he was pretty spooked by the voice. Eventually, the woman opened the door to the study, and Davis was faced with someone he had never met before. When he asked her why she was in his house, the woman responded by saying that it was her house, and that Jimmy had said she could live there. Davis says he called the police immediately, but they took around 18 minutes to arrive, and by that time the woman had absconded. Police have not found the suspect, and Davis had all the locks changed.
Facts.
The mysterious Jimmy
Especially my
was
room's
at
locked.
large, telling people
They
that
changed
they
the
live in
vents.
houses that
Check
don't
if-
belong to them. Christian
Yo,
Hobbs. If you were living in a home
damn,
as small as a
this
trailer,
is scaring me low
you
key.
wouldn't expect to have someone else occupying that space without you knowing.
Right?
But when an unnamed woman from Massachusetts went to use the bathroom in her mobile home, that's exactly what she found. She noticed some strange movement in the air duct below her and decided to peer into it, which is when she saw a man's face staring back at her. Knowing he was busted, the man said hello from his creeping hiding place. It turned out that the man was Christian Hobbs, who had sold the trailer to the woman 2 weeks earlier. He'd set up cameras and a place to hide while he was working on the trailer. The woman had rejected his romantic advances, so he broke in and installed 2 baby monitors in the walls of the trailer. By the time he was caught, the 44-year-old man had spent 2 days beneath the trailer, living off power bars and recording the woman and her 4-year-old son. When caught by Salem police, he immediately blurted out that he was guilty, apparently proud of his crimes. Chilling. Living with a squatter. In 2016, Heidi Peterson left her rundown home in Detroit so that it could undergo extensive renovations. But when she returned in 2017, she found that a squatter had moved in and was refusing to leave. But this was no ordinary squatter. Missionary Tracy Elaine Blair is a former tenant of Miss Peterson's, and she went about changing the locks as well as putting in new appliances and plumbing. She even changed the curtains. This delusional squatter believed that by fixing up Miss Peterson's home, she now owns it. Miss Peterson needed to prove that the property is hers before she can be evicted. So, for a period of months, Miss Peterson and her unwanted squatter were living in the home together, just one bedroom apart. Miss Peterson had a 1-year-old daughter at the time, and while she didn't always feel safe with this strange woman in her house, she had to admit that her having to live with a squatter is just something that happens in Detroit. Alexander Cooper. The end of a romantic involvement can be difficult, and some people find it hard to get that things are over. Marie Wright found this out the hard way after she discovered that her ex-boyfriend had sneaked into her house while she was away and secretly set up home in her loft. 28-year-old Marie Wright had been dating 27-year-old Alexander Cooper for 5 months when she asked him to move in while her housemate was on holiday. Cooper then refused to leave when the flatmate returned, and Miss Wright had to force him out a few weeks later. Within days, she began to notice food and bedding gone missing, and found dirty fingerprints over the attic door.
Why wouldn't he move out?
She even asked Mr. Cooper to check the loft, but became suspicious of him after money went missing from her account. Miss Wright's flatmate then checked the attic herself, where she found a makeshift bed and a bag of Mr. Cooper's clothing. Cooper had been living in her attic for 2 weeks and had been stealing money from her by taking small loans out in her name. He was later sentenced to 16 months in prison for fraud, theft, and perverting the course of justice. Joe Cummings.
My God.
When New York resident Joe Cummings had started
Are
to
they
notice
homeless?
who was
Do they
going missing
need
from his
somewhere to
house,
live?
He did the reasonable thing,
Because
and
that would
asked
make
his
a lot of
girlfriend if she
sense.
had anything to do with it. When she claimed to have no knowledge of the missing food, Joe decided to set up a camera in his apartment to get some answers. When he played the tape back, he was met with a terrifying discovery. A disheveled woman appeared to be living
I heard
in a
about
small
this.
loft space in
I
his
saw this
apartment,
video before.
only coming down at night to take his food and relieve herself. She even drank juice straight from the carton. On seeing this, Joe left the apartment and called the police, who quickly came over and arrested the woman. Authorities said she must have been staying there for a couple of weeks and would have entered the building from a nearby window or fire escape. They also said that they'd seen this sort of thing a few times before.
What?
So he warned people, keep those windows closed when you leave, or you could be inviting a creeper in. Have you ever had anything like this happen to you?
Damn. Those are some crazy stories, bro. But my concern is, like, are those people homeless? If they're homeless and they like having a hard time, I understand. But if you're not, like that ex-boyfriend, whatever, what the hell? What the fuck you doing, bro? But yo, you come in my house to check out my daughter, I'll put you down straight, bro. I'm not waiting on the police. You're in my house. I cut you in my house, you're getting shot. Simple, no explanation. But hey, guys, do you. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe, comment down below. I see you in the next video. Peace.